right, ladies and gentlemen, and fantastic listeners out there. Welcome to another episode of Shadowrunnin on Empty. Got another full house this evening with us, as always, the fantastical Tyler. How you doing this evening, my friend?
I am doing fine, dandy, and the cost as always. You know, our flag is the worst, but we're the best. Anyway, speaking of the best, so easy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling a lot better. Finally over my
Woo.
week-long sickness. So, ready to get back
My
into it.
man, dude. Okay, can we give a peek behind the curtain to like listeners who I remember that call started and I looked at your face and you looked
Mhm.
like a man doing the 1,000 yard stare. You're like your soul was barely
Yeah.
in your body.
Yeah,
Dude, it was surreal. I
your
was like,
your
dude,
your soul was still back on the battlefield of World War One.
yes,
Like you
yeah.
were in the trenches, dude.
You were in a several hour long Vietnam flashback. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, this guy's not gonna be okay. Is he gonna make the episode? As soon as the camera starts rolling, I see you straighten up and
Yeah.
put on your game face and just go. And I was like, dude, this guy is suffering so
Yeah.
bad. And then as
Right.
soon as the cameras went off, dude, you just went back to the 1,000 yard
Yeah,
stare.
right before we started, there was no mistake that you had in fact been in the shit. Like I knew that you were in the shit. So yeah, you guys you're not wrong. I
My
was
God.
feeling god awful, and I as soon as we got ready to start, and at the end of the intro music for Sinless, I just put it on and I was like, all right, let's do this and get through it.
Man.
But the hardest part was definitely towards the end of that last, like, our season end
Oh
episode.
man. Yeah.
Like towards the end where we were doing some of that extra RP, I was just this sudden, just icy cold just hit my back, and I'm like, oh god, it's so cold in this basement. I'm dying.
Dude,
I just
I
have
could
to
tell.
make it
I was even
through.
like, I felt like we had a natural ending, and then you just kind of kept going, and I'm like, oh God, we're still going. Like this man's a ticking time bomb. We gonna die.
I had to get
Uh,
through some of the extra, like,
oh my God,
backhand
dude,
setup
we
for the
still need
next
an
season and
epilogue.
everything. And
What are we? You know, we'll talk about that off the pod. But
yeah,
like,
we'll get to
hell,
that. And you
oh,
guys, listeners, if you want, you can ask us. Come into the Discord and give us a shout, and we'll talk to you about it. We'll let you know what's going on. I do still have an epilogue sort of idea to run
yes.
at the beginning when we start season 2 back up, and we'll talk about that more when we get closer to doing that. But yes, thanks for that look behind the curtain of how I
Pay
was
no attention to the
dying.
jam bam the cutting.
GM life, man. Sometimes you just gotta buckle down and get through
Word.
it.
Do it to it.
Seriously. But welcome in, everybody, for some more lore today on our lovely Shadowrunnin on Empty. I am ready to go glow popping again. You guys ready?
Passport ready.
Is your visa up to date?
SIN card updated.
Got all your
Breadstick
vaccinations?
loaded. Oh,
Breadstick. All
goblin
right.
empty. No, no, I said cred stick, and I was thinking about my ebony level cred stick. Okay, show
Oh
some
yeah,
respect
yeah,
for
yeah.
me, Petey Williams. A joke
Never leave home
I
without it.
made. I My character was named after a wrestler, by the way. I don't know if anyone picked that up.
Oh, I knew. I just wasn't gonna
Okay,
say
great,
anything.
great. And then the dad's name was based on just the guy's name, essentially. That's why my character was where he was from. Anyway.
Well, fantastic. Backstory. Well, we're gonna hop on this plane and we're gonna get off at south of the border. We're heading to good old Atzlan.
Oh, go Blood Panthers.
I mean,
They're the
where they came
ones.
from.
Okay,
Remember,
Yeah,
they're your
yes, nailed
favorites.
it. Okay, it's been a couple of weeks. I didn't forget all the lore.
So we're gonna gloss over a bunch of ancient history that takes place in the Mesoamerican area. If you guys are interested, you can look into it yourself. It follows actual history. It talks about Aztec culture, Inca culture, the starting sort of ancient cultures that were there beforehand, and then the colonialization that happens, and then the the war between the United States and Mexico. to land grab, remember the Alamo, all that good stuff. So that's all in actual history, and
Uh-huh.
you can go look that up yourself if you're interested. I don't think I need to cover it here.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Okay. Where we're going to take over is around 2001, at the turn of the 21st century. Um, the current Mexican governmental party is not doing so hot. And in comes these two other nationalist movements. You have the National Democratic Front, known as the FDN, and the National Action Party, known as the PAN. And these two sort of come together and take over for the Mexican government.
Oh, they had a government. Right.
Yes, they have a government. And this is in early 2000. During the next few years, FDN and the PAN began to view a strong business community as a threat to their power. They're seeing what's going on in the UCOS, and they're not liking the idea of extraterritoriality.
What's the best?
They see it as a threat to their power. And so business interests begin to withdraw their support from all government administrative programs. If the government isn't going to play ball, then the corporations that are giving them support aren't going to give them any funding. Go figure.
Oh, no.
Struggling to stay on their feet, the ever more repressive PAN and FDN coalition was totally underprepared for the chaos that struck when Vitus hits. Remember the Vitus pandemic that sweeps the globe?
Boy, howdy. Good times and everyone was fine.
They lose a lot of people. And of course, with no backing from their business partners here, they lose a lot of people. Basically, the government disintegrates the following year after the Vitus plague in 2010. The Mexican business community comes to the rescue once the government dissolves.
Hernay.
And this is in the form as two large corporations. One of the corporations is known as Pemex, and they're primarily like natural gas, oil distribution, and a small other business called Oro. That's ORO.
Like gold.
And they're a name that you definitely want to keep in mind as time goes on. The Oro Corporation becomes what is known as Aztechnology.
It always comes from resource mining.
Well, originally, the Oro Corporation was actually a loose conglomeration of shell companies that were run and owned by the major cartels.
Ah.
But they come together to form this big business because they see that's the direction that the future is going, and they want to be, a part of it.
Hell yeah.
The first matrix-based electoral system was built by Aurora Corp.
Aurora?
Oro. Aurora.
Oh, Oro.
Oro Corp.
Okay, this wasn't another one called Aurora.
No.
Okay,
Just
it's
the
Oro.
same one. They built the first matrix-based electoral system. You have to think the matrix is becoming prevalent enough that everybody has access to it. So why not let the people vote directly for their elections?
People have spoken.
The system provided the means for the first direct election in Mexican history. Took place on May 5th of 2015. The Atzlan party assumed power and has consistently been re-elected office ever since.
All faithful, all reliable.
Well, yeah, once you create the centralized system that everybody votes into, you can kind of dictate whoever you want to take control. And why not let it be the Atzlan party, which clearly is No way connected to Aztechnology.
How bold of you to imply otherwise.
I know. The Atzlan party and the entire Atzlaner nation was the original brainchild of Francisco Pavon Gutierrez del Quebrona.
Hell of a name.
Pavon was born in the southeastern city of Cordoba, and he was raised and trained by Jesuits in Mexico City. And by the age of 25, he had turned against the superstitions and empty rituals of the Catholic Church. He had always been fascinated by the ancient history of his nation, reaching back to the times of the Aztecs. And with the return of magic to the world in 2011, he realized that many of these denounced spiritual beliefs were actually truth.
Like myth and legend.
Yes, they were real. And
makes
so
sense.
he creates and becomes the leader of the Atzlan Party, a movement that advocated a return to the natural development and growth of, quote, the old ways.
It's like, I'm not getting political here by trying to say this, but it's like conservative plus. Like, we're about the old ways, but we're about the older than the old ways.
Older
you know
than old ways.
Yeah.
The before 4 times.
The old ways were too lenient. We need new old ways.
It's New Old Testament.
Blood sacrifices.
Exactly.
For Jesus.
According
Jesus.
blood sacrifices. Wow.
I'm sorry.
I want to go like outside of one of the like Aztec temples now with a big picket sign that says blood sacrifices for Jesus.
You gotta dress up like a camp counselor or something super like ubiquitous.
Oh,
yeah.
With the socks that come up to your knees.
Howdy, hey, campers! Blood sacrifice for Jesus.
I already got those easy. I wear shorts during the winter down here in the
Nice.
Southwest, so
So proud, proud.
I've already got my knee socks. Trust
It's
me.
unstoppable.
These calves don't get cold, baby.
Word?
Lovely. According to the movement of the Atzlan movement, the nation of Mexico could only lift itself from the post-Vitus chaos by returning to its roots. And you return to the roots by seeking out and following the ancient truths that had been at the heart of those sophisticated, long-lost civilizations that had preceded it.
I would have assumed that they would have returned to their roots by going to the basement of the Alamo.
Ooh. Well, we'll get there.
All the best. I'll see you at the Alamo.
About land grab, because that does happen eventually. By 2014, the Atzlan Party was known, respected, and loved throughout Mexico.
Voice of the people.
When the corporate caretaker government announced the general elections would be held in May of the following year, Pavon's followers nominated him as their presidential candidate. He accepted and was elected president on May 5th, 2015.
Presidente. That means the president, guys. I took Spanish in high school. Okay, so
Wow,
I think I know what I'm talking about. I'm so smart.
I took French, so I didn't know what you were saying.
I took German, so I was also lost.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's why I'm here for people. You know, I teach lore as well.
Is language considered lore?
The lore, yes.
Apparently.
Don't get me started. All language is lore. Wikipedia articles, lore. You know, biographies, lore. Vlogs, lore.
So during this time, remember, in the United States, things are not going so well.
When are they?
You have the sovereign American Indian movement. Remember that? That's wanting to reclaim their native lands.
Yeah, that's the push for the naan.
Yes.
The naan.
Yes.
Naan is delicious bread.
Yum, yum, yum.
President Pavon did express Atzlan's support for that movement. Though Atzlan was unable to commit military forces to the struggle for various reasons, Atzlan did provide a safe haven for fugitives from the U.S. government.
But also, like, of course he's gonna support for that movement because the Nan didn't try to push into Mexico at all, did they?
No, they did not.
Yeah, I was like, it's mostly North America, so that makes sense. That's a slam dunk for the president of Mexico right there. He's like, oh, they want more American land? Yeah, fuck it, give it to them. Let's go.
When the Nan were forming in 2017 and 2018, Atzlan was invited to join what would become the Sovereign Tribal Council.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, again, it makes sense. They're big supporters for them because Mexico has nothing to lose.
And again, Pavon accepts the invitation gladly.
Cool.
What a guy.
They remained a member in good standing with the Nan until 2034, when it withdrew in protest against the meaningless squabbles that had rendered the STC, the Sovereign Tribal Council, ineffectual.
Oh, so they were like
infighting too much. Yeah.
Oh, okay. They weren't really that influential at that time.
Yeah, and so Atzlan was like, "You guys are just arguing back and forth. We're out."
Yeah.
In 2035, Atzlan took its first steps to reclaim land to the north that rightfully belonged to its people. This is where they invade the Kos. Yeah.
They wouldn't dare.
They in fact did dare.
I am retreating further into the south.
They done dared.
They done dared. Dared. And then the Kos fought back bravely and no casualty.
No, they did fight back.
Casualties. Remember, that's how you spin a story.
Remember, Texas asked for aid from the Kos, and they.
I forgot Texas isn't in the Kos, is it?
No. This is why they left. They didn't get support from the Kos, so they went independent to try to fight off Atzlan by themselves, and that wasn't working. And eventually, they do rejoin the Kos.
Welcome back.
In the same year, by the way. This all happens in 2035.
Oh shoot! And now I gotta go.
They say that they say that the back downs are bigger in Texas.
I got really out of sorts today talking about defending the Hufflepuffs. I can't die in another hill today, gentlemen.
There's no hill to die on that one. That one's just factual.
You'll be happy to know that the campaign to retake some of the land from Texas by Atzlan does eventually stall out. Because they can't keep pouring resources into it. And Atzlan did reach out to the Nan to petition them for aid in retaking the land, and the Nan just waved them away, saying, "You left the STC. We don't care about you anymore."
It's fair.
So the campaign stalls out.
If you can't handle us at our worst, you don't deserve us at our best.
Yeah, basically.
That's basically what the Nan said.
So the demilitarized zone, I believe, is at the Rio Grande River.
Oh.
Between Atzlan and the Kos.
Or as we call it, Cowardice River.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the Kos back down. How's
that hill feeling?
I would like to
remember the second time you guys lost the Alamo?
Like to
I remember it.
Wow.
The stars at
night. The remainder of all of life.
Also in that same year of 2035, Atzlan does push north into California as well, and they're able to take land back from California, as the UCOS did not send aid.
California gets like weirdly divvied, right? Like the California Free State isn't the entirety of California.
No,
it's like Central California pretty much, because Southern California goes to
Southern California goes back to Aztlan,
and Northern California.
San Francisco gets invaded and taken over by Japan.
Yes.
And part of Northern California gets lost to the tier.
Yes, it was the tier. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So you've got two demilitarized zones one to your north, one to your south, and then
and then an entire
part of your mainland.
Part
of your mainland is invaded by Japan. So really, I don't know how free California Free State is.
Hey man, San Jose killing it. They're killing it right now.
I guess.
Never been a better time to live in San Jose.
That's all they got left, really.
That's all they got, but boy, do they got it.
By 2040, Atzlan has emerged as the most stable, prosperous, and socially advanced culture in the Northern Hemisphere.
Oh, cool.
You have to think they also have like the most stable land that's not split up. It's all one united, and becomes more so as time progresses.
Well,
Like
yeah,
they have all of Mexico, and then they start to push down into the rest of Central
America. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You don't have like 6 megacorps trying to fight for a predetermined amount of land. You just have one that just goes all of this. Yeah, all of this. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they kicked out. Well, they weren't having the extraterritoriality in the beginning, and so therefore the corporations never really got their claws into the land there. And because of that, this is what happens. You only have one state-run. Well, it happens here soon. Actually, in 2044, we're about to talk about it. It became apparent that something had to be done to help stabilize the nation with the growing corporate council that was becoming a thing. So by 2044, in a courageous move, the Atzlan government nationalized all foreign-owned businesses in Atzlander territory.
Oh yeah.
If it's yours, it's ours. Loyal Atzlander-owned corporations such as Aztechnology and Pemex threw in their lots with the federal military when this takeover took place.
Nito and Reno.
Yeah, Atzlan military quickly suppressed scattered attempts at insurrection from any of these other mega corporations. Yeah. And so because of that, now the business is owned by the state.
Oh, okay.
And so Aztechnology becomes the household name of Atzlan.
It's like the only name.
It is pretty much the only name for mega corporations in Atzlan is Aztechnology. Go figure. Later on, during 2045 to 2047, the nations of Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua were accepted into the Atzlander Republic as member states.
Okay, so at what point does it become rebranded as Azland instead?
Instead of Mexico?
Yeah, instead of just being like Mexico and the
surrounding... As soon as the Atzlan party takes over in 2015.
Okay.
That's about the time that they start changing the name.
Gotcha. Okay. I think I missed that. That's on me.
Because remember President Pavon is wanting to go back to the old ways.
Right.
And so part of that is renaming the country.
I see. Okay.
So it doesn't have its colonialist name.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think I missed that part, but okay, that makes sense.
Yes, that is when the change happens.
Okay. So it's been Atzlan this entire time. Because I guess my thing that I was confused on is I was assuming that it was renamed after Aztechnology rose to prominence.
Nope. Aztechnology is just sitting pretty on holding the namesake to
I mean, it's a
old ways.
It's a really good name. Let's be fair. Like,
I mean, we will do a deep dive on Aztechnology eventually into
the brand is consistency.
It's a good name. It's a good name for a company.
I can tell you that their chief products and services for Aztechnology involve chemicals, heavy industry, military technology, and mystical goods and services.
How about heavy chemical industry mysticisms? I was trying to combine them all, but my brain no good.
You want to? All right, you know what? Hang on. Let's take a drink of water. Give me a take 2 on that one, big guy.
Wait. Can you run that by me one more time? We're doing this very organic.
Yeah, absolutely. Their chief products and services include chemicals, heavy industry, military technology, and mystical goods and services.
Chemical, heavy, military, mystical goods and services.
Wow, he did it.
In one.
In one.
Good job, very handsome editor.
Secondary interests for Aztechnology include aerospace, biotechnology, consumer goods, cybernetics, and agriculture.
Huge.
Because Aztechnology becomes one of the foremost providers of edible goods.
Word?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean a different kind of edible?
No, I mean food.
oh, you mean a different kind of food?
Oh, a different kind of food. Are we talking about people? Is that what we're trying to reference here?
What? No, what? No, that's barbaric. I was talking about drugs.
Oh, well, biotech. I guess that counts.
What?
Blood drugs.
There's nanites in my weed. My weed has Wi-Fi.
Yes, it does.
What a nightmare. Oh, the signal sucks. I can't
Vape
even get
now.
high. Oh no, I need to do an authenticator to use my vape. What is this nightmare? This Orwellian nightmare.
Two-factor authentication.
No, I don't remember my password. I don't even remember the first street I was born on.
No. There's probably one little area that you're wondering about that happens to be in Central America that makes it easy for shipping goods between the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean.
Uh-huh.
And for those of you that are keeping up with history and geography, obviously I am talking about Panama.
Of canal fame.
Yes, canal fame.
One and the same.
Panama does eventually join Atzlan.
Yeah, what's up?
There's stuff.
Okay.
There's stuff and things, I promise.
I'm waiting for the stuff.
I'm staying for the things.
So remember how currently the Panama Canal has gone back and forth in ownership. At one point, the U.S. was the ones that were keeping the peace in the area and kind of maintaining it and everything. And then it went back to Panama. Well, Panama eventually joins Atzlan because they have a failing country and they need goods and services. Their government is failing. And so they opt to join in. Also, what else makes it difficult is that there is a landslide that takes place that blocks part of the canal and only like small commercial vessels can get through. And so to alleviate this problem, Atzlan comes in and says, yeah, we'll clean it up for you, but then we're going to hold on to it.
We still got more cleaning to do, so you just come back in a couple of years. We'll have it taken care
of. Eventually, because Atzlan actually gives up on cleaning the canal to pursue other interests.
Nefarious.
In 2048, the Atzlan government finally comes to a quote friendly agreement with the corporate court, giving it over to the corporate court. Yeah, the corporate court, the ones that are represented by the 10 mega corporations, the 10 AAAs.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to see how many times I could say corporate court to myself.
Ah, I see.
Like a tongue twister corporate. Anyway.
So the canal zone now is its own independent area. It's considered its own sovereign area.
Oh, so I could be governor of the Panama Canal?
Yeah, you can. There in fact is one.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying that there is a chance. Right now, the zone governor that is in control is a woman named Toko Baisetsu.
That name sounds weirdly familiar.
We have not mentioned her at all.
I think it's like the name. Anyway, so the name itself sounds so.
Heard it someplace else?
Yeah.
It's possible. But we at least get the Panama Canal back by 2050. So it is usable.
And clean?
Well,
well, relative.
Who really can say for sure?
What are you, the
I would
cops?
have met.
Yes,
What are you, the
cops?
canal cops? Yeah, tell us if you're a
the
canal
EPA.
cop.
What are you? EPA?
What are you, water police?
Water police.
What are you? Mermaid Patrol?
You don't have jurisdiction on land. Get out of here.
What are you, Paul Blart, Atlantean cop?
You trying to represent some deep entity known as the Leviathan? I never heard of him.
I, for one, don't believe that the Leviathan exists. I think it's all a construction of the government, the land government.
When you say summon the Kraken, I imagine you're saying Kraken to a Slim Jim or something. I don't understand.
I just don't get it.
Please explain.
Now that we've heard the brief history and how Atzlan has come to be, I know what you're thinking. How do I go and be a part of this great nation?
I've wondered this since day one. Day uno, even.
Day uno. Well, better get your travel visa ready.
I've had it ready.
Well, your maximum duration for your travel visa is 120 days from date of issue, or 60 days from date of entry into Atzlan,
Oh.
whichever expires first.
Oh.
But I already used 90 of my days to go to the to go to the tier.
Zoo? Oh.
The tier.
Oh.
Because that was the max, right? It was 90 that you can visit the tier.
I think so, yes.
Oh, yes. I was like, why does that sound familiar?
You'll be happy to know that certain nations, such as Tir Tangri and Tir Nanog, and various other Italian city-states, prohibit their citizens from traveling to Atzlan.
Oh, why?
Ooh.
Why do they hate fun?
Crime? Is it crime? You can tell us if it's crime.
They just don't like Atzlan and Aztechnology, maybe because of, hush hush blood magic.
My blood magic is very loud. No hushing. Many screams.
Is there a lot of hushing surrounding blood magic for Aslan? Because it seems like they're pretty out there and prominently displaying their blood magic.
Actually, yes.
Huh.
Only the shadow community is aware of the blood magic that's going on in the Atzlan borders, but the greater population, no clue. They don't even know blood magic is a thing.
It's a thing you tell the kids so they fall in line.
They fall in line.
The cautionary tale. You'll be taken in the night by a blood panther.
So when trying to get into Atzlan, here are some things to take into consideration for your application. These are things that will probably get you on their radar. If you have a record of public protest against the Atzlan government, that's bad.
Oh, when you say notice, you meant bad notice.
Yes, bad notice. If you have a criminal record, any felonies, that's bad. All these are possible reasons as to why your visa may be declined to go to Atzlan. If your blood test comes back HMHVV positive,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
Oh.
You can't come in.
Oh.
Employment, either direct or indirect, present or past, with Ares macro technology.
The not bad guys. Yay!
Yay!
Can't be a member of Ares or have ever worked for Ares.
Oh, man.
Membership or affiliation with the Universal Brotherhood.
Oh.
Don't come here.
So you can't be racist.
Well,
no. Universal Brotherhood are the ones who may or may not be affiliated to Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Oh, God, all fear the Santa Claus.
Exactly.
You're thinking of Humanus, Tyler.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, all right.
Don't worry, you can still be part of Humanus and go to Aztec.
Yay!
If you have Amazonian citizenship or palpable links with Amazonia, don't go to Atzlan.
Define
That's
my
fair.
links being palpable.
That is completely up to them to decide. Do you give money to Amazonia?
Do you work and or trade with Amazonia?
Oh, okay. Well, when you put it like that,
Have you ever lived in Amazonia for any period of time?
Are you an Amazonia cop?
Yes.
Shit. Gotta go.
If you have restricted cyberware, this includes implanted weapons, including toxin exhalers, boosted or wired reflexes, tactical computer, or cranial cyberdecks.
Huh?
Don't go to Atzlan.
Oh, so no brain stuff.
You can't have a tactical computer in your brain.
Oh man.
And you can't have a cyberdeck in your brain.
What about a cyber dick in your pants?
You could have one of those.
Yay!
Oh, all right, cool. Boys, we're going to Atzlan.
So like Kaze's like cyborg from the waist down. I see. Okay, jotting
Totally
that
fine.
down.
It's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Kaze. Of course.
Yes.
That's who I'm talking about.
And no one else.
And no one else looks to the left, looks to the right.
So that's just for your travel visa to be able to get in. If you want to be a resident, you would have to apply for alien status.
Like that kind of alien?
No, like you're
Like
an
you're not
alien.
from that country.
You're not from that country, alien. Yes, that kind.
Mm.
You can apply for alien status, and the Atzlan government will either reject or deny your papers. A lot of that previous criteria that I talked about will go into consideration when you apply for alien status. Now I know what you're wondering. How the heck do I become a citizen? Well, I got some bad news for you. Acquiring Atzlan citizenship is not a viable alternative.
Huh?
Under Atzlan law, only the offspring of registered citizens are eligible for citizenship. You weren't born there, you don't get to be a citizen.
Oh man.
If you were born someplace else, your parents have 90 days to get to their closest Atzlan embassy to declare your birth. Otherwise, you are not eligible for citizenship. You can, of course, travel by air into Atzlan. There are plenty of airports for you to come in at. Again, you will be scrutinized and you'll need your travel visa and papers ready. You can try to illegally cross in via air, but then you would have to beat their sophisticated radar systems that scan their airspace over Atzlan up to 25,000 meters.
Pretty far.
For those of you at home, basically you're at the lip of the, I want to say you're at the maximum altitude that you could be for most conventional flights.
Can you give us that distance in freedom?
Oh yeah, brother.
That
cost
is
units, please.
cost units. That's at least 860 freedoms.
Oh,
hell yeah,
that's
brother.
a lot of freedom.
Solid amount.
That is a lot of freedom. Yeah. Your other entry is you could go by land. You could try to cross the border. The northern border is much like it is now. There are a few checkpoints that are in place. By 2049, the Atzlan government has privatized all security border crossing.
Ooh.
And they have subcontracted that security out to Aztechnology. So if you want to cross the border into Atzlan, either through Colombia or in the south or through one of the northern borders, either from the COS, the California Free State, or I think it's the Pueblo Corporate Council, you would have to go through one of the security checkpoints, or you could just, border run it. It is a very large border at the north. It's very difficult to defend.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, the worst that could happen is they could catch you without any papers or identification, and then you got some problems.
I prefer obstacles to be conquered.
Well, you could try and conquer this obstacle. I'm not going to stop you.
Why'd you say that? Why did that sound so threatening?
I mean, all you're dealing with is Aztechnology. What's the worst that happens? You get disappeared into one of their pyramids to be one of their lab rat test subjects and experimented on and then sacrificed to blood ritual. No big deal.
That was really specific for a very theoretical scenario.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
You could also travel by sea. Obviously, you've got the Gulf of Mexico and the Pacific to come in on, right?
Huh.
Except that most scheduled ocean travel is monitored by Atzlan.
And Leviathan.
Well, they also rely on the Caribbean Pirate League as well, who they have friendly tidings with.
With pirates?
Yeah, Caribbean pirates. You heard me.
Jack Sparrow. Do you know the Shadowrunner pirate?
Oh, no.
Do you fear Leviathan?
Do you fear the Leviathan? Because you shouldn't.
So you have heard of me. All right. More lines? How many more lines do we got?
You have heard of me. Obviously, we need the most famous one. Why is all the rum gone?
Why are all the creds gone?
Why are all the creds gone?
Why are all the tequilas gone?
Well, now you're in Atzlan. You've got your travel visa. What's it like to live there, right?
Paradise.
Not so much.
What?
If you're in the urban area, one of the greatest centers would be their capital, which is Penoctalan.
Hey.
Is a corporate enclave. Most of the suits live in the same kind of urban complexes that you see in downtown Seattle. They're not quite arcologies, but they're very close. They're not self-sufficient like Run Recruit tried to do, and then it mysteriously shut down. And that's a story for another time. But they're not far from it. If you live in one of these complexes, the locals call them castillos or castles. Ooh. Everyone here wears a breather. Whether you have to step outside, even if it's only for 30 seconds, everyone, they wear their face filter masks so often that they make them part of each day's outfit. They're considered accessories.
That definitely isn't related to modern history at all.
And how bad the smog is down there. Think of how bad it's going to be in 2040, and 2050.
We're getting RGB masks now.
Yeah.
We already have those.
Oh yeah. No! There's still time. I have to go back.
Filtration plugs. Wear them.
Razer made their concept mask, but it's like an actual thing.
I know. That was what I was pulling off of, but I wasn't sure if it's already out yet.
Oh, that I don't know. That's okay. A good question.
So you're saying there's still time?
There's still time.
There's still time.
Okay, I have to go back.
There's always time.
Almost everything that you might need or want is inside a Castillo. Restaurants, medical centers, daycares, fitness clubs, bars, even comfort stations to ease the biological back pressure
kind of
for all your genders.
Breezed past that. You said, what was it? Relief? What was the last one you said?
Comfort stations.
Comfort stations? You said that with quotes.
Yes, that is with quotes. Comfort stations.
Are they very comfortable?
I would assume they're comfortable. They're there to relieve the stress of your day
and that sounds
try to make you a better, more relaxed worker.
I feel like you're implying that there's something very bad about this.
You know, there's always something just lurking under the surface, isn't there?
No.
And it's called Leviathan. We've gone
Here's where it gets even better. While you're living in the Castillo, you just thumbprint a scanner and everything gets charged to your residential account. No need to carry cash with you.
The way you say that, it just sounds like an infomercial. I feel like this is a dark infomercial.
It should be. It basically means that while you live in the Castillo, you are living off corporate script. You don't pay for anything. Everything just gets charged because you thumbprint scan. So are you really living for free, or are you just living off the corporate dime?
Freedom ain't free.
Freedom ain't free. Costs $1.05.
That's very true.
That is very, very true. And of course, living in the Castillo, there is a rigid hierarchy. If you're a real highfalutin suit type,
and I am,
you get to hang out in the nicer sectors. If you're only a middle manager, you get to play at the correspondingly less flash facilities, just a maybe touch or two down from the glitz and glam that the suits get. And if you're a low-level data pusher, the only restaurants you're ever going to visit are going to be the quality of McHugh's.
so delicious.
If you like fast food restaurants, yeah.
Canonically, this has been very clear that I do.
That's what they're implying, is that in the hierarchy of the Castillos, you have the upper crust of the CEO types and higher up management. Then you have the middle managers, which kind of get by, and then you have your low level drones and data pushers that can't even imagine what it would be like to go to some of these flashy clubs because they can't afford it. Peasants.
Oh man.
At least 75% of the workforce works from home in their Castillo. You just get to roll out of bed in the morning and jack right into your computer that's installed in your apartment.
Yeah, that's my everyday.
Thanks to the wonders of SimSense, you're instantly at work.
Oh God, what a nightmare. I don't even have traffic to listen to my podcast.
Yep, great for wage slaves who don't have to fight traffic, and great for the corpse because everyone who telecommunicates is on call around the clock.
What a nightmare. Oh no.
How about that, huh?
I don't like that. Is too close to home. Literally.
In Atzlan, the standard biz day starts at about 8 in the morning and runs to noon.
Oh hell no. Oh wait. 8 to noon?
Yeah, then it's time for lunch and a siesta.
Yo, okay, siestas are pretty hype. Okay.
Then back to the grind at 1500.
Oh no.
And work to 2000. So you work till 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. And
wait, I get to work at 8 a.m. and I get home at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Ew.
But you get a siesta in the middle of the day.
Wait, how long is a siesta? Come to math in Shadowrun.
About an hour.
Ugh. I get mini siestas throughout
well,
the day.
No. Yeah. If you go to noon and then you go back to work at 3, so you've got 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
No, I'd rather just go home.
And then back to work at 8 p.m. And 9 p.m. for any of you slow people.
Can you say that?
Yes, anybody that works slow gets to work till 9 p.m.
Oh.
If you work fast, you get out an hour early.
Oh, huzzah.
Yes. Now, if you're the upper crust, obviously you get to start later. You don't start your day until 5 p.m. on Fridays.
Lovely.
Isn't it great?
It's the best.
So now we're starting to get the hierarchy idea of how Atzlan works.
And there's no downsides.
Time to talk about that unaffiliated worker that doesn't work for the corporation. This person is called, I'm probably going to butcher this, Burakumen. Burakumen.
And this is what culture again?
This is still in Atzlan. That's corp speak for unaffiliated worker.
Oh, so do people say it at all in a positive context?
No, because you're considered lower than a wage slave.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Lower than the low.
Lower than the low.
Started from the bottom, we're still at the bottom.
Your typical.
We're lower than the bottom. Sorry.
Yeah, your typical Burakaman lives in a quote council complex, which is kind of a co-op that is run partially by subsidized government facilities. Not as flashy as the Castillos.
No, doesn't even sound as cool.
No. In the council complexes, you have the bare minimum that you're required to have. No flashy restaurants. There's a commissary that you get to eat in, like a cafeteria.
Oh, okay. Definitely didn't have to live through this
Mm-hmm.
as an adult.
Yep. But don't worry.
Huh.
If you thought that was the lowest of the lows, you'd be wrong.
Oh.
There's one step down.
Huh.
Below the Borough Common are the peasants.
Oh, actually, that's a term.
Yes, that's the term. They're the peasants. They're the poor schlubs that live outside the cities in the agricultural zones.
Or schlub.
They're considered about 21% of the population.
It's pretty sizable.
Yeah, living in the rural areas, and they're considered peasants.
Like, I'm trying to think of what's the population of Hawaii that's homeless, because I remember hearing that was a problem, and then I saw like every couple of feet I was seeing another homeless person. So
really?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what's the percentage of the population. It was, dude, I legitimately saw a person who had flies flying around them.
Whoa.
And they were just on the ground, and I was in a car, and I just looked out my window and saw these flies on this person. And the person who was crossing the street next to him looked at them and then had to like cover their face.
Oof.
So that is big roughs.
So I can give you the rough estimated population of Atzlan.
Oh, hit me.
The roughly estimated population is 134,220,400.
Okay, so that's 134,220 or 220,400.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's 21%.
21% is below poverty level and considered
And that would
peasantry.
be 28,186,284. That's
there you go.
Pretty sizable.
Pretty sizable.
It's in the millions.
Mm-hmm. You'll be happy to know that 67% of that population is human.
I don't know how I'm supposed to, how was I ever going to feel happy about that?
I don't know. Your next highest is elf at 15%, dwarf at 6%, orc at 9%, troll at 1%, and other at 2%.
So, okay. So humans are the most poor, or most of the poor population.
Probably human. Yes, most likely.
And the lowest, besides other, is orc.
Troll at 1%.
Troll. Oh, troll at 1%. Oh.
Mm-hmm. So with all this disparity in hierarchy of class system, how are you getting paid?
Am I getting paid?
Well, you'll be happy to know the currency of Atzlan is still the peso.
You know, you keep saying I'm going to be happy to know, and then I'm not happy at all. So, go for it.
Hard currency is available in 100 peso denominations. Coins are available in denominations up to 10,000 pesos. And then you have plastoweave bills that are available in denominations ranging into the millions of pesos.
That's a lot of pesos.
Now I know your next question obviously is going to be, what's the conversion rate to new yen?
Yeah, obviously.
Well, as of 2056, 500 pesos are equivalent to 1 new yen.
Oh, so not great.
No, not great at all, actually.
Not a big fan.
500 pesos will buy you a lot of soy tacos, though.
Oh, so many soy tacos.
Ooh, wait, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Who would have the best soy tacos?
Between
the Yukos and Atzlan.
Oh, Atzlan.
Oh,
what are you
Atzlan.
talking
Well,
about,
yeah,
dude?
Hey man,
Come on.
hey man. This is a
Hands
world
down.
where we are like, hey, by the way, you can turn into a fantasy race. So far be it for me to imagine some other culture perfects the taco.
No,
Yeah,
no way.
far be it from you. Talk about living in a
No!
fantasy
It's
setting.
close.
Jesus
It's so
Christ,
close
dude.
to me. No, wait. Oh no.
Next thing you're gonna tell me Texas has better Mexican food than Arizona.
I'm gonna go ahead and put away my notepad that didn't say that. Definitely didn't say that. Also, if I ever say the Tex-Mex is better than actual Mexican food, I've been replaced by a fucking doppelganger. Okay,
that's how we'll know.
that's how you'll know that that is not me. I am somewhere buried in the Mojave Desert because I would never ever say that. And someone once told me that they think Tex-Mex is better than Mexican food, and I was like, you must be from another planet, my friend.
Facts.
Anyway,
So, laws, crime, and punishment time.
it rhymes, so I'm excited again.
All right.
Oh boy. Well,
And haw.
first off, you'll be happy to know that weapon laws in Atzlan are pretty relaxed.
Yeehaw.
I like this little blurb right here. The Azzies take this particular phrase to heart of this old biblical chestnut. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, because I'm the baddest assed, best armed, heaviest armored, raw meat eatinest mother fragger son of a slitch in the whole goddamn valley.
I'm pretty sure that's what the Bible said.
And
It's been a while since
I'm
I've read it.
also really cool.
So yeah, expect your average citizen to walk around armed in Atzlan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say expect everyone in Atzlan to drop a mad promo, because that's essentially what you just said.
That is true. Atzlan law has some weird things to say about collateral damage. If Aztechnology security officer decides keeping the peace necessitates burning a clip into your chest.
What?
And if by chance a couple of rounds go wide and hit sordid innocent bystanders, it's your fault.
Wait, the fault of whom?
The fault of the perpetrator, not the fault of the security officer.
Oh, yeah, no comment.
No comment? Are you sure?
No, I'm good. I'm good, man.
So, yes, clearly the security forces in Atzlan are not afraid to gun you down should the need arise, or should they think the need arises.
Or should they later write in the report that it was needed to arise?
Mm-hmm. You do not have to license pistols and SMGs. So
I could just have one. I could just have one.
Yeah. However, if you are in possession of a rifle, that's a no-no.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite.
I know, right? If the chemical trip is more your route, you have the choice of all of the fan favorites, from mind benders to hypnotics and hallucinogens.
So I got options.
Yeah. Nirvana, cool. Jolt, Electric Lady, White Hot, plus a few you probably never even heard of. You don't have to dig around in the shadows. No, sir. You just go right up to your nearest Aztechnology entertainment store and slap down your cred stick.
Drugs, please.
Yep.
I've heard I'm able to buy a drug here. Drugs?
Yes. At your entertainment store for Aztechnology in Atzlan, all chips are guaranteed safe, and the drugs are certified at 99.99% pure.
I'll take it. Pretty good rate. Pretty good rate.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Alcohol is largely unrestricted.
Boring.
You must register your chrome with the relevant government agency. So if you're pretty chromed up, you better have that license all squared away.
I need a license to be augmented, essentially.
Yes. And if you have a cyber deck, guess what? It's illegal.
Illegal?
Illegal. Decking illegal. Unfortunately, Austin, they don't have a really unique form of law and punishment like the tier does. They don't have a magistrate.
Well, that's fair.
They're more they're more regular as they're split into both executive and legislative branches, normal boring government stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Atzlan is divided into 40 administrative divisions, which comprise 39 states.
Mm.
Each state has its own government, headed by a governor who's elected electronically by the residents of their own state for a 6-year term with no limits on re-election.
Oof. And it's digital.
It's digital.
Mm.
All
Sure
digital.
Sure that never has
been exploited.
Them in the butt. Yep.
I'm sure Aztechnology doesn't have their thumb on the scale to put certain people in power that they
Couldn't
want.
be me. Nope.
No. Mm-mm. No.
So do they use like a governing or a police force that's based off of Aztechnology then? Or
yes, Aztechnology is their private security force. Otherwise, their next security force is the National Federal Army.
Oh, okay.
Which Aztechnology supplies troops and weapons to anyway, so
yeah.
It might as well be Aztechnology.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time when you see the military out and about, there'll be some kind of Aztechnology attaché attached to it.
Mm.
The official language of Atzlan is Atzlander Spanish, which is a dialect of Spanish virtually identical to the language previously known as Mexican.
Oh, okay.
So it's Spanish?
Yes, it has drifted a little further than Mexican from the original Castilian Spanish, but it's still relatively the same. English is also widely spoken and understood in Atzlan, unless you go to the more rural areas, and then you better speak Spanish.
It's hard for me to make the distinction because I don't know, but in this case, is this world's Mexican in quotes different from Spanish?
No, I don't think so. They're meaning it in like syntax and dialect.
Oh, okay. Like Central America Spanish versus like Spain Spanish.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Yes, it's much more like that.
Okay.
Obviously, the capital of Atzlan is Tenochtitlan, formerly Mexico City.
No, yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah.
It is a large, sprawling metropolis. That is also why it is one of the highest polluted cities in the entire Sixth World.
Hate to see it.
If you go outside, you better be outside with a rebreather, or else you're not going to be able to breathe very well. The Aztechnology pyramid is centered here. One of their big ones, their main corporate headquarters. In the corporate run areas, they do have a version of panic button boxes that you see in Seattle. You have the same entertainment that you would anywhere else. You've got Tridio, theater, dance, live music. Obviously, soccer is still a big hit.
The football.
Yes. There are only 2 sports that are taken extremely seriously in the Atzlander Nation. Football.
Football?
Yeah, football, soccer.
Oh, okay.
They put the little accent over the U.
So
yes. Football.
Yes.
And Olama Tilly. There.
Would
It's
you
spelled.
like?
I will spell it. Here you go. It's OLLAMALIZTLI. Go ahead and pronounce that.
Yeah, I would need to. Okay, one more time. OMM.
OLL.
OLLA.
MAL. Yeah, AMALIZTLI.
Oh, Yamalitsi. Oh, Yamalitli. Oh,
Sure.
it's the Mesoamerican ball game. Cool. Okay, look at us learning. I'm learning a lot about the world.
It is the national game of Atzlan. It's dating back to Aztec history. It's played on a long, traditionally stone court. It's flanked by 2 high walls. Spectators lucky enough to get tickets to watch the game in the meat seat sit on top of one of the 2 walls. 1 ring extends from the center of each of the 2 walls, each ring with an internal diameter roughly equal to that of a basketball hoop. The big difference is these rings are mounted vertically. 2 teams of 3 players meet on the court. The principle is pretty simple. The players have to shoot a rubber ball through the rings to score points using only their knees, elbows, and hips.
And it's like the hoop that's like attached sideways to the wall.
Yes, that's where you score your points. Can't use your hands.
Throwback.
Yeah. If you've ever watched the movie El Dorado, they do play that game.
The Road to El Dorado?
Yes, the Road to El Dorado.
For our younger audiences, you know the meme where the guy's like strumming the guitar? That came from an animated film.
I would think that the more relevant meme would be the both meme.
Where
it's them looking at each other going both.
Yeah, okay, also fair.
Same source.
I see what my mind wants to see, which is a person with a string instrument. Yes.
It's also the best thing that DreamWorks Animation ever made. So just do yourself a favor.
Such a quality movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. Quality.
Mighty and powerful gods. We can just do this for the rest of the episode. Fuck it. This is welcome to our Road to El Dorado fan cast. So we're gonna just be talking about Road to El Dorado for the next 2 hours.
So great. I could do it. Don't tempt me.
Oh, dude, I'm right there with you, dude.
It was by far one of my more favorite recent animated movies that I had seen.
I mean, I got a fun fact for you.
Did you know I like fun facts.
Did you know that the voice of the horse in Road to El Dorado is Frank Welker, otherwise known as Megatron from Transformers?
What?
I did not. That is good to know.
That is wild.
That's a fun fact for you. There you go. He's also the voice of Abu from Aladdin. Also a fun fact for you.
So Abu is also Megatron and Soundwave and the horse from El Dorado.
Yep.
Who knew?
And Fred from Scooby-Doo.
And Fred
from Scooby-Doo. And I believe the original voice of Scooby as well. He was both Fred and Scooby in the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You Hanna-Barbera series. Yep.
Wow.
I want an animated. How much do I got to pay for a fan project that's just all of the characters he voiced in the same house, and he has to voice each of them?
Oh, dude. And he lives next door to Jim Cummings, and Jim Cummings voices all the characters that he's ever voiced in the house next door. Their neighbors do.
Why do you know all these things? Are you the mysterious forces, dude?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Stay
vigilant, Tyler. Stay vigilant.
Stay vigilant, brethren.
Jeez. Amazing.
Well, damn. I learned about history and then everything changed.
And then it all went someplace else. You'll also be happy, well, not so happy to know that Atzlan is in a protracted war against Amazonia and is also committing some genocide in the Yucatan.
I'm really glad that you this time adjusted beforehand to say I would not enjoy this.
Yes.
Because I'm already the cost
Tyler,
guy.
You would enjoy this. Genocide.
Hey, I gotta go.
So yeah, they are trying to wipe out these insurgents in the Yucatan Peninsula. It does last for quite a long time. Starting technically in the late 2050s and going all the way to 2064 is the end of the Yucatan insurgency with a peace treaty that gives the rebels autonomy in the Yucatan. They actually were able to hold off Atzlan for long enough. Many people Many people argue that that is in large in part thanks to Amazonia giving them aid, which kicks off in 2072. The Amazonian War begins with Atzlan. I don't know what it is with Atzlan and having it out with some of the awakened neighbors that they have, but boy, howdy, do they ever.
They gotta do it. They gotta do what they gotta do, man.
There ain't enough freedom in this town for the both of us.
Apparently, ain't enough freedom.
Remember, he's busy walking through the shadow of the Valley of Death with his big gun or whatever he said.
Yeah, when you were saying that earlier, I was like, okay, wait. What's the line?
Yes. In 2074, the Amazonian War ends with territorial gains made by Atzlan, and its reputation in the world strengthened. Atzlan also has one of the best PR departments in the Sixth World, thanks to Aztechnology.
Oh yeah, we've definitely talked about that because they've done some major war crimes.
And
seen as, hey guys, hashtag Atzlan on Twitter.
Hashtag Tofu Tuesdays at Taco Temple.
They're doing this protracted genocide in the Yucatan, and their PR department is able to spin it that it's insurgent rebels that are causing the whole problem in the area, destabilizing the efforts in there for the Aztechnology forces that are trying to just keep the peace and get the area back under control.
So stay vigilant, brethren, is what they're saying.
Maybe if somebody dealt with those insurgents, then there wouldn't have to be a news story.
How many freedom units do I have to turn in to quell the insurgent forces?
Apparently you don't have to turn in that many freedom units. It only took 2 years for the Yucatan to win their autonomy. So
God bless.
Figure that out in freedom units. 2 years.
Enough. I'm holding out a salute. That's the payment.
that's how long it takes. Meanwhile, they're in stalemates with California Free State and the costs, not able to gain any more land, mostly because they were pushing south during this time. That's where their attentions were turned. And you were wondering earlier about the armed forces, right?
Mm-hmm. Talking about the armed mystical.
Well, the official armed forces,
not the blood jaguars. It's not the blood jaguars.
The official armed forces of Atzlan, the National Army, has some 50,000 ish men and women under arms.
Mm-hmm.
It is there to defend territory, not project force. So they're seen as a defense force and not actually as a standing army.
Oh, just the way that was written sounds like it was written by a PR campaign,
right?
It's so like indirect.
Well, it makes sense though, because if you the way that they phrase it, it gives them the anonymity to be like, well, this isn't a government institution. This is like,
in the legal sense.
In the legal sense, yeah, like this isn't a right technically per se. This is a service,
an opportunity.
Yeah.
You'll be happy to know that the corporate army that is run by Aztechnology has a freestanding corporate army force with a little over 150,000.
You said that the other one was 500,000?
50,000.
50,000. So their rented out army is bigger than their national army, is what you're telling me.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
Sick. That's definitely never going to lead to any type of problems in the future ever.
The corporate army may have been deployed right alongside the national army using the same uniforms and often the same equipment, making it nearly impossible to differentiate which units are regular and which are corporate.
I'm sure that will never lead to any issues ever down the line.
No, of course not, right? No, definitely not.
So what happened?
Corporate run force.
What happened literally next year? Easy, tell me what happened literally. I feel like this is what you're setting me up
That's
for
always
right now.
the setup.
Yeah.
Bump set disaster.
It cuts off around 2070 because
weird.
Weird.
Our current timeline in the sixth world for sixth edition is 2080. So all of the new machinations and plans and whatnot haven't come to fruition quite yet. So we'll see what we get in with some of the new supplements and everything that are going to be coming out for sixth edition.
How deep into 2080 are we in sixth edition?
Like I think it's just 2080 is the start.
Okay.
And I don't think we've progressed much further into that.
Okay.
Like I said, I have to finish reading all of the sixth edition core book, and then we'll make some decisions after that about sixth edition possibly.
It'll be
Stay tuned.
fine.
Stay tuned. We'll find out. So that's Atzlan at a glance. Oh, you'll be happy to know that the airspace, the airspace over the great Aztechnology pyramid in Tenochtitlan is defended by a great feathered serpent.
Yo, that's so cool.
I think you'd mentioned that before when we talked about dragons, because I know that you talked about there being feathered serpents in Atzlan.
Oh yeah,
but it's not specifically Quetzalcoatl, right?
No, it's not specifically Quetzalcoatl.
An unnamed.
It's an unnamed feathered serpent. However,
because
he's
one of the few dragons whose names we don't know, right?
Right.
Okay.
You will be happy to know that Atzlan does have its borders open to meta-humanity. They also welcome all Draco forms. So that includes feathered serpents. There are some Eastern dragons that are living in Atzlan. There are some Western dragons that also live in Atzlan. They're not as prominent as the great dragons, but they're offered citizenship in Atzlan. Any free spirit that wishes to get citizenship in Atzlan can be granted citizenship. And if you banish a free spirit in Atzlan, it is tantamount to murder.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
They're like really in tune with mysticism and spirits.
Well, yeah, think about it. Their president is wanting to go back to the old ways of the teachings of the Aztecs and whatnot, and reconnect with their spiritual beings and identity. And so, of course,
let's be fair. He saw how powerful the ghost dance was, and he was like, "What
if I'm on the winning side this time, huh?
How do we feel about the great ghost mariachi performance? Huh?
I mean, you're not wrong.
But it doesn't make it right now.
Yeah. There is a state religion for Atzlan that, when translated, refers to the path of the sun.
Oh.
So you're saying praise the sun.
I am saying praise the sun. They praise the sun in Atzlan.
Doing the pose. You can't see it. I'm doing
they are a pantheistic faith.
Yo, I didn't even know that was a term.
Deities. It's a pantheon, like
I get that. It just sounds so cool. I've never heard that term.
It's one of the alternatives to monotheism. Monotheistic is one god, like Christianity is a monotheistic religion.
Mm-hmm.
So pantheistic is.
Has anyone ever told you your brain is too wrinkly?
Listen, I took one of the few college courses I ever took was world religion. So this is the only reason why I know this. But yeah, it's pantheistic, polytheistic, and monotheistic are the three major religion types.
Correct.
I like pantheistic. I think they're pretty cool usually.
I agree. Pantheistic usually is pretty interesting. You get some of the greatest myths from pantheistic.
What's your favorite theism, Tyler? Remember,
vegan.
Jesus is watching.
Vegan Jesus.
Oh,
instead of blood, it's soy.
The soy of Christ.
The soy of Christ.
He said, "Take unto me, for this is my body," and handed you tofu on a rice cracker. And he said, "Drink deeply from me, as this is as my blood." And he handed you some kombucha he just made.
And Jesus spake got some fresh booch.
And Jesus said, unto ye, lo, the booch is brewing.
The booch is brewing. So most of the worship that's done in in Atzlan is done at temples called the Teocalli. And every village in Atzlan has at least one of these places. In Tenachtaland, there are many of them. This is where you do your deity worship. I do have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major Atzlan deities.
Ooh.
I'm pronouncing them as going to be a
Oh, here we go. Here's where in the edit you just record Google Translate, and then when Google Translate, put that clip over it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to know them, you can just Google them. They are the traditional Aztec.
No, Easy. That's not why we listen to this podcast.
The sun,
hear you say it.
The sun god, winged serpent, deity known as Kuwetzulcatl.
Actually, Quetzalcoatl is not a deity of the sun.
He's not.
No.
I was just making.
And
it
I
for
knew
the joke.
that. And I definitely knew that.
Quetzalcoatl is one of the deities. He is the deity of knowledge, wind, hunter, and warrior, and he is also the patron of wizards and thieves. It's a weird combination.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
That's like the coolest combination.
Wizard thieves.
Multi-classing.
Well, yeah. Because it's like he's a god of intelligence, and intelligence in both like academic and street smart. Like, why would they not be the two main focuses of his patronage? You know? It's like thieves represent the intelligence of academia, and wizards represent the intelligence of academia, and thieves represent the intelligence of stabbing someone in the back and taking their wallet.
Hutzapaltil is the deity of war and the sun. Tezcatlipoca, I know I'm butchering these, and I'm so sorry.
God of dots
is the god of fate and confessions.
Connecting the dots.
Tolok is the god of agricultural and rain, and Ixucotl is the god of fire. I think is actually a goddess. I'm not entirely sure. I think, but I'm not sure.
I always appreciate when fire has a dedicated deity.
Fire right? Good. Fire good or fire very good. Bad.
I mean, it is. No, I totally understand. I always think it's funny that it's like, and this is our god of fire. That's they do fire. That's their thing.
They do it real good.
The clergy for this priesthood following is separated into 3 castes. You have the emperor, then the rank and file clergy, and then the magically active within the clergy.
Do they not get like cool fancy titles? They're just the magically active within the clergy. Like, that's a kind of a boring title.
Yeah.
Hey man, they're about efficiency, not panache.
Yeah, but like they could be like seers or something, man. Like, make them cool, like make it all mysticky.
The Oracle.
Yeah, something than the magically inclined member of the clergy. That's like explaining that the priest is like also in a softball team, you know? He's like, this is our physically inclined, but you know what? That's maybe not the best term for that. This is our softball enthusiast member of the clergy.
Here's a clergyman who likes to do knitting and long walks on the beach.
Yeah, right.
So tame.
So the emperor in the Aztec teachings was like the head of the priesthood and served as head of state and commander-in-chief of the military and the high priest of the Path of the Sun, right? Well, modern Atzlan is a federal republic with an elected president, but officially and traditionally, the incumbent president of Atzlan is deemed the, quote, emperor and the head of the priesthood.
Oh, so the president is also the leader of the religion.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how this would cause no issues.
La 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 la.
Something Spanish Inquisition, something.
A sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Right. Then below him in the priesthood, you have the Hue Talatonai. They're referred to as the revered speaker.
Oh, that's good. That's cool.
This position makes all priests throughout Atzlan national, throughout the Atzlan nation, officially subordinate to the president. Every priest is officially subordinate to the president. Nothing bad can come from this.
We to the woo.
The rank and file clergy consists of a surprisingly large subsection of their population. The entire nation, there's estimated to be about 120,000 priests of various levels. The church is monolithic and hierarchical, surprisingly similar in structure to the Catholic Church. By the way, the Catholic Church is suppressed in Atzlan as a dangerous cultural force. So yeah, there's that.
Swell.
The real power for the clergy lies with the so-called vicar general in charge of the religion's administrative functions. The vicar general appoints all subordinate priests.
They set up Sunday mass as well as the Sunday battle plans.
Basically.
The Sunday massacre.
Oh!
I like to imagine that he's got like a shotgun that has like a cistern attached to the pump of it.
Time to get baptized. Click clack.
Action priest.
Yeah!
I kick ass for the Lord.
Beneath the vicar general is a hierarchical structure familiar to any corporate manager. Members of the clergy advance in rank through demonstrations of efficacy.
I've been known to effecate.
Maximizing observance of religious ceremonies, increasing donations to various temples, etc. And of course, all clergy members reside in quarters that are publicly funded. Clearly, nothing. That's definitely how they live, and not above their means.
Whatever do you means?
I'm not implying that this setup of their one state religion isn't horribly corrupt.
I don't see how it could be.
Smash cut. It was all bad.
So how far from the general, the priest general, is that what's
the vicar general?
The vicar general. How far down the totem pole are the blood jaguars from the vicar general?
Asking the right questions.
Probably pretty far down, considering the blood jaguars are under the control of Aztechnology and not the state religion.
But I mean,
however, it is rumored.
That
Atzlan does grant citizenship to some of the HMHVV infected. There's whispers that banshees perhaps get citizenship.
Not that that has anything to do with,
No,
definitely not. Of course, human sacrifices were of immense importance to the ancient Aztecs, and of course, are no longer performed in modern times. Cough, cough.
We know of.
And of course, what is a religion without their bad guys of their beliefs, right?
Heretics.
An interesting aspect of the Atzlan state religion is its apparent belief in demons.
Yeah.
Specifically, creatures known as the Zeta.
Absolutely.
That translates to demons of twilight.
I mean, that's my favorite time of day to see demons.
Oh yeah, yes. Twilight is that's when you see the most demons.
it appears it's demon o'clock.
Well, oh my, look at the time. It's time to demon.
It's demon time.
It's demon time. Obviously, in the background, there is some very bad juju going on with the blood magic that takes place in some of the Aztechnology areas. You will have reports of mysterious disappearances in some of the major cities, or people just kind of go missing. Who knows what happens to them? Who's to say? Who's to say?
Everything is fine.
All I gotta say is that you gotta feed your blood jaguars,
or they'll feed on you.
Yeah, that's
That's the PSA.
exactly what I was implying.
Yum yum yum.
But yeah, that's Atzlan at a glance. Living in Atzlan,
where everything is okay and fine.
Everything is a-okay and fine.
Everything is great.
Everything is awesome.
yes. I'm glad we can all sing the national anthem.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Atzlan, I pledge to thee.
Everything is cool when you have blood jaguars.
Wow.
Rhymes very loosely.
Very, very loosely. So do you have questions, comments about the Atzlan nation?
Lovely time.
No, they seem pretty straightforward, honestly.
You got nothing going on in the background.
They're
well, I mean, like they do, but like everybody does in the sixth world, you know, like
they do, but so a lot of it is just traced back to Aztechnology, though. Like,
yeah, like
the troops committing genocide in the Yucatan, linked back to Aztechnology, them fighting the magical forces of Amazonia and wanting to push forward into their lands, technically comes back to Aztechnology. This is just what you get when your state is also thinly veiled to house your corporation. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, all things considered, their fingers are not in a lot of pies. All things considered, it feels like like Aslan is just like, we're Aslan and we do Aslan stuff, and Aslan's dope. Come hang out here. Like they're not they're not going out and trying to grab more land or start more wars or invade fucking neighboring country, like all like in comparison to most of the
already
other
done
countries.
That.
Yeah, but like in comparison to most of the other countries, they're the most like, yeah, we just exist now. Like,
you mean like the tier?
yeah, but like I mean, yeah,
that's a very specific example.
Yeah,
see our previous podcast.
as that seems dope. They're cool, and it's you know, Tyler's favorite megacorp. So,
woo!
Man, when
their
we
PR
get to talking about them,
is to die for sure.
Yeah, hides all their terrible, nasty things that they're doing.
Hides what? There's nothing to hide, sir.
Puts it out in the open and gives it the greatest spin.
Hashtag dab.
Hashtag dab. Hashtag Atzlan.
Dabsland.
Hashtag no blood magic. Hashtag we're not doing it.
Hashtag cranberry magic.
It's cranberry magic. Hashtag you can't breathe the air.
Hashtag curate your air. Okay.
I feel like it's gonna be one of the episodes from or like from Spaceballs where he just opens the drawer and it's got pure air. Open a can of pure air.
Dude, there are actual like oxygen bars in real world.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I just imagine that Atzlan is like Mars from Total Recall.
Oh my god! Wait a minute.
Oof.
Is
Give the people the air?
Is Shadowrun a way of tricking me into learning about world history and playing a historical RPG?
What? No.
I've been betrayed.
No, we're definitely not doing history
Oh,
and
no.
geography
You've never been
lessons.
betrayed, Tyler, because you never asked before now if that was the case. It's always been the case. You just didn't ask.
Oh my God.
The realization now sinks in. And
Yeah.
to you, dear listener, yes, you're getting a little bit of a history and a geography lesson along with your lore.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Yeah.
forgot.
Stay vigilant.
Sorry. I fell behind.
I keep channeling what's his name from CSI Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you guys got nothing else to add to this great nation that is Atzlan,
No need. They're good enough on their own.
they're good enough on their own. And if you like their public relations, then you'll love our public relations.
Oh,
How nice.
And what better way to experience those public relations than how about you saunter on over here next to the bar and pull up a chair and join that Patreon. You can come on over to patreon.com/critical_hits, just 5 new yen a month, and you get this sweet access to listen to these wonderful lore podcasts ahead of time, shout it out at the end of all of our sinless episodes. Plus, you'll be able to take part in some of our behind the scenes goings on our Discord. We've got something cooking over on there that I think some of our Shadowrun enthusiasts will be excited to hear about. And also, you'll get to partake in any of our future Worm Talks, of which I believe we're planning on another one here pretty soon.
Nice.
I think so. I think it's going to be a great time. We had a blast on the last one.
Oh, yeah.
You guys will have to check that out. But if you want to listen to any of the future ones, you're going to have to become a patron to hear all the delicious Worm Talk.
Easy, where do they go to subscribe to that Patreon?
Once again, to subscribe to this Patreon, come on over to patreon.com/critical_hits. And it's just 5 new yen a month gets you this chef's kiss access. I know that's what you're all craving. That's my best Atzlan PR impersonation.
These Patreon ads make me horny. I think we're doing this right.
Question? I'm feeling ways and things about stuff.
I think this something is awakening me.
Something's awakening, all right.
Oh no.
From the deep.
Or oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, that's just Leviathan. Never mind.
Oh. We call that anticlimactic.
No, what a letdown. Well, guys, I hope you have had a great time in learning more about the land just south of the border. That crazy land that is trying to get back to the Aztec ways. Atzlan, run by Aztechnology. Patent pending.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening. I've had a great time in giving you this wonderful, juicy lore about Atzlan, and I hope you have learned some more interesting things. Remember, to be a citizen, you gotta have been born there.
What a note to end on.
What a great note to end on. You guys, thank you once again. It's all for you, dear listener, and we will catch you on the next one.
The Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sound, audio, video, and or any proprietary materials used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to Critical Hits to use such names, logos, artwork, photographs, sound, audio, video, and or any proprietary materials for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with Critical Hits in any official capacity whatsoever.